Morning everybody. Schönen guten Morgen an alle und willkommen in Thessaloniki.
Your German is much better than my Greek.
I think we're going to be a bit more emotional and more personal to what this subject of refugees and the refugee crisis has to do. We like to say we're a group of crazy people that gathered together and thought they might change the world, and I guess that in a way we actually did. I'm Rena, this is Dimitris. We represent the volunteers of Thessaloniki, and we're going to tell you our personal thing, let's say, about volunteers. We have also some pictures. If someone wants to ask something about a photo, you can gladly interrupt us, or at the end. Is it okay? Yes. Why does someone actually become a volunteer? What does he want? What does he actually gain from it? One could tell many theories. I guess someone has nothing to do with his free time. Someone else just wants a goal in life. And someone has an inner need to give and to help. Some of them don't last for a long time, because being a volunteer needs actually commitment and engagement. And not many people are ready to do that. A volunteer wants to be everywhere and do everything. He wants to offer his services wherever they are needed. He doesn't care about the cost. He doesn't care if he's tired. He doesn't care if he leaves his family and friends often behind. What do we gain as volunteers? Easy. Everything. You win the joy of giving. You meet amazing people. The ability to surpass yourself. And of course, you become aware of the unimportance of your own problems, or the ones that we think that we have. June of 2015, 5 people from Thessaloniki with 3 cars filled with food met in Kilkis a family which had already started to help refugees who were crossing the Greek borders. We merged as a team from the first moment for the common cause. Volunteers of Thessaloniki, Love Without Borders, was created by simple and everyday people. While the refugee flows were growing, a network of volunteers and people willing to help developed and self-organized. Goods from all over the country and abroad started to arrive, while our actions became more known to the public. A volunteer friend gave us for free an apartment without electricity, and we transformed it into a warehouse. Pretty soon in Thessaloniki, more than 200 active volunteers participated in the cooking, at our missions at the border, or in the warehouse. Our houses and working places became meeting points, and we started communicating through internet. We created a blog and a Facebook page. Thousands of people responded to our biddings for help, and we became receivers of dozens of phone calls on a daily basis. Interviews on radio stations and TVs, broadcasts, newspapers, together with our very demanding missions at the border, became the routine of the most of us. The requirements that the refugee crisis in Idomeni and Eco gas station created overcame us all. No one expected anything like this. Our lives changed forever, and this is a fact. The stories that we could tell you about our visits to Idomeni, Eco gas station, and the other campsites are countless. Some really difficult situations, some full of joy, from smiling faces, the babies we held in our arms, the thank yous we received, even if at the beginning we didn't understand one single word in Arabic, of course. Tears, anger, because we couldn't find this extra pair of socks for one baby. Sadness, desperation, and so many more feelings, all in one night. Imagine yourselves in their shoes for 1 week. Imagine that you have your baby in your arms and you have to change its diapers outside by minus 3 Celsius. Imagine you're alone with 4 children, you don't speak English, no one tells you what to do, no one tells you where to go, and you just have to wait at the borders for 48 hours until they open and you can take the next step. Imagine there's nothing left to take with you besides yourself, not even a decent pair of shoes. Imagine you have a newborn and you can't breastfeed it. You're looking for milk, but there isn't any. Imagine you don't even know how to write your name because you've never been to school. For months, our team was traveling at average 3 times every week in the area of Idomeni to provide food, hygiene material, medicine, clothing, and furthermore, moral and loving care support. There was a team of more than around 100 women and men who at the same time were cooking, and we were bringing in Idomeni 3,000 to 5,000 portions of food. I guess we would like to tell you the numbers, how many thousands of kilometers we have all traveled, how many tons of provisions we loaded and unloaded, how many cold nights we spent there, how much processed food, fruits, dried food, medicine, and other essentials we have delivered, how many clothes and shoes, and whatever necessary in this situation, how many hands we held, how many stories we heard. We met teachers, professors, doctors, architects, businessmen, one of the oldest women we ever met in our lives, 105 years old. We met farmers, students, children, babies, women alone with their children, people from so many different countries, people who lost everything, people who saw their families drowning in front of their eyes during their travel from Turkey to Greece. The numbers are enormous. During our time at the Greek borders and the camps, we met amazing people. We met families who we took care for almost more than 1 year, and now that most of them are in some other countries, we all keep in contact and we exchange our news frequently. We also visited a couple of them, and we have to say they treated us really like family. We like to say that being a volunteer, you take back much more than you actually give. We can tell you that in Idomeni, most goods were covered by volunteers teams. During this period, until the borders closed for good, more than 1 million people crossed the Greek borders. And we were there, without this being our job. There are the non-negotiable have-to-dos that our conscience dictates, and all these ideals that characterizes us as humans. Solidarity, giving, support, caring, love, and pure volunteerism are notions that overcome country borders, but mostly mind borders. Unfortunately, humanity has many borders that function at the cost of others. That is why we named our group Love Without Borders, 3 magic words, which relate to a bigger meaning. Love without discrimination, without any borders, neither geographic nor religious, race or color. We are all equal and deserve a chance in life. We deserve peace, prosperity, and hope for a better future. In Idomeni, as well as in the rest of the country, history was written, and it still continues to write itself. A big piece of the modern European history, in the years to come, will concern the huge refugee stream that we experience even as we speak. History is written, and we have to say it the way it happened, and not the way it will be presented in the years to come. All these refugees that passed from Idomeni borders and from the islands received a unique solidarity wave from all over Greece, a love tsunami, as we like to say. Despite the huge financial crisis that affected the Greeks, they have given a really proud and strong message of support. I think we're the only country that took on such an enormous effort as people and not as a state. Plain volunteers were often called in to give long-term solutions before all the organized structures find their role. Difficult issues were and are accommodation, alimentation, and clothing. 3 years have gone by, and the same problems still go on till today, along with the serious issues of integration and inclusion for the populations stuck in our country. The state has to be present and let the people know what is really going on. Society doesn't know what is happening, how it can be informed, and how it can help. The truth is that we, as plain volunteers, experience the solidarity of our fellow citizens. Society reacted, embraced, and helped the refugees, even in the campsites. But the introversion and the distortion of reality by some mass media, the political debates about this issue, the bad image of some NGOs, the obscene news have discouraged people from coming forward as volunteers. The refugee crisis should be and must be coordinated by people who have proven their love for the cause and their abilities. This, together with scientific personnel and appropriate trained people, should take on the difficult project to create not only the infrastructure, but also give them back their dignity. No one agrees with war. It looks so far away. We feel small and unimportant. We feel that someone else is playing with human lives. Our presence in Idomeni made us feel that our objection to all the tragedy that was happening there was meaningful. Let us not fool ourselves. The only true solution would be if war was ended. History is not written with reports and studies. The reality about the refugee crisis is in the camp centers with their huge problems, their minor rapes, the trafficking, the bombarded cities, and the destroyed families. History is proudly written when civilizations can truly merge, when people can coexist, when all can clearly know what to expect. The uncertainty that exists now is no use for anyone. Love Without Borders, however, continues its actions, also in other levels, such as helping children that live in institutions, collecting goods for associations for children with disabilities, cooperating with other teams, and in general trying to be useful wherever and whenever needed. Greeks, not Greeks, citizens of the world. You know all Little Prince from Saint-Exupéry. He said, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is visible to the eye." Thank you for your time. Merry Christmas und frohe Weihnachten. If someone has a question, we will be gladly to answer.
Would you like to add something, maybe? Or okay. Thank you very much, both of you, for the very interesting portfolio you brought here today for all of us to see, and for very inspiring.